my name is Teresa Catherine. I am an alum. I graduated in the year 2011 with my degree in theater from Clemson University. I took a year off after that because I did not get accepted into grad schools, and my heart was really set on going to grad school. So I spent the year in Greenville, which is where I'm from, and I had the fortunate opportunity of working at the Warehouse Theater, and I did Jessica from The Merchant of Venice and really dove into my audition practices, worked with the amazing Carrie Seymour, and got accepted to Catholic University to get my MFA in acting. So I spent 3 years in DC pursuing that, and I graduated in 2015. And 2 weeks after I graduated, I moved to New York City because that's where my family's from. That's what my heart longs to do. My ultimate goal is to be in television and Broadway, and New York City is sort of like the perfect cross-section opportunity of that. I discovered that there is a lot to learn in the transition between being a student actor and being a professional actor. And one of the biggest things I learned is that I did not have any experience or material to prove that I could act on camera. So I got together with some friends that I'd met working retail at Lululemon, and we originally just set out to create a scene for a reel. And because we're both overachievers and perfectionists, we were like, well, if we're going to write a scene, we might as well just like do the pilot of a web series. And then we were one episode, and we were like, well, if we're going to write one episode, we might as well do a season. And that is how Effed, another effing web series, was born. We released it in 2017 at a time when web series were very popular, and seems like everybody had a web series to show. So our title's a little tongue-in-cheek, being aware of the fact that there were so many of them out there. We did a season. We felt really good. We did it all ourselves. We did it on a shoestring budget. We didn't know anything. Carly is my co-creator. Carly and I had no experience, but we were sort of like, let's wing it. Let's figure it out. Let's borrow somebody's camera and somebody's lights and get some people together, and we'll figure it out as we go along. So we're really proud of season 1, and we sort of sat back. We were like, cool, like now we have material. Now we can go pursue representation and then start meeting with casting directors because we can prove that like we can do this thing on camera. We sort of like sat with that for a little while, and we were like, well, if we did one season and it was fine, now we know so much more. What if we went back and we did another season with more knowledge and it would be better? So season 2 was born. So today I have some clips for you from season 2 because our quality is so much better, because what we learned, the biggest thing we learned between season 1 and season 2 is you should ask for help and support in the things that you know nothing about. We knew nothing about cinematography. We knew nothing about sound. We knew nothing about the right way to handle the camera. So we reached out and we had people do that. And if you really want to sort of like take a deep dive into YouTube, you can find season 1 and season 2. You don't really need season 1 to watch season 2. That was sort of like something we really focused on in the writing of season 2, of like, we've established these characters, we know them, but we're not going to rely so heavily on backstory that you couldn't just enjoy season 2 as is. So my first clip is from the first episode of season 2, and I hope you enjoy. Are you going to be much longer?
Good morning.
Is it a good morning?
Yeah, of course it is.
I cannot live like this much longer.
It's only been 3 days. There are still some kinks to work out, but soon we will be a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have warned you. You never let Chris have the shower first. It's a rookie move.
How could I have possibly known that?
How could you not? Don't you just look at Chris and think, that's a guy who takes an hour-long shower? On a completely separate and unrelated note, if no one is using the stove, may I put on the kettle?
So firstly, no, I don't think I've looked at anyone and thought, I bet he takes excessively long showers. Secondly, no, you may not use the stove because you withheld vital information and there are consequences for your actions. Also, second and a halfly, we're not in 1900s rural England, so there is no putting on a kettle. You can drink coffee like a champion.
Thirdly, we don't have a kettle.
Well, we would if you just let me go.
House rules were very clear. Not one single item from your bedbug-infested apartment. They are the herpes of apartment plagues, and 3F is a good, clean girl.
So one of the reasons we wanted to start the season in the way that you just saw is that some of the things we learned between season 1 and season 2 was that the characters that we created were a lot of fun. And through the necessity of either Carly or I having to be behind the camera or having to direct, season 1 is very separated. We couldn't get all 4 characters together just because it was literally impossible for Carly and I to be behind the camera and on camera at the same time. So the gift we gave ourselves in finding Miguel and EJ, who was our cinematographer and our sound guy, was that we could then be on camera and we could bring all 4 characters together. And their dynamic is so much more fun. It's so much more fun to have the back and forth of multiple characters, and the personalities are so distinct and different that the heart of our show was all 4 of these people cohabitating together. And you can see in the episode that we reference bed bugs, which is sort of a very New York thing to say, and we sort of wanted a reason for the 4 of them to be in this apartment together and to justify the fact that in reality we had just simply lost access to the 3 apartments we filmed in season 1, and we only had 1, so we needed to come up with a creative solution to the fact that we were just going to be filming in 1 location for the entire season. So we were really proud of what we discovered and the sort of creative solutions we came up with that. So the next clip is later on in the season, and it's actually a clip from my favorite episode of season 2. So enjoy.
Why are you being nice to me?
Just, making conversation.
Right. Jenny, how did you sleep?
Good. So good.
Yeah, did you have a good dream?
No. Why? I don't dream. I have this thing.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. You don't dream, at all?
Nope. It's just darkness. And then I wake up.
Oh my God, that's horrible. You know, sometimes I have dreams that are so crazy or awesome that I just can't wait to tell everybody about them.
And sometimes I have these dreams that I can go 1 full day without being involved in other people's personal lives.
So, yogurt. You writing about yogurt?
Yeah.
I love yogurt.
Me too. Yes, especially the fruit on the bottom.
That's the best kind.
Yes!
Sometimes, I think I would eat just that and nothing else if I could.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's good.
Do I sing in my sleep?
What?
No, just curious. Hey, could I get creamer for my coffee, maybe?
Sure.
If you sing, I've never been woken up, so.
So, Ryan, Jenny does dream vividly. In fact, last night she dreamed that the 2 of you were kissing. And that is why she's being a weirdo. She's trying to deal with this new development. And I think it's fairly obvious that Ryan is also obsessed with you. So, enjoy.
So the reason this is maybe my favorite episode is that it is the most collaborative episode of the season. It's Mike, Carly, and myself as the 3 main characters. And Carly and I were not involved behind the camera at all for that episode, which was incredibly rare. Mike wrote the episode. Wes, who is another actor who plays my boyfriend on the show, directed the episode, and then we had Miguel and EJ for the technical stuff. So Carly and I truly got to be just producers and actors, and we were able to sort of give our creative vision to other people who'd been living with it almost as long as we had. And it was really a magical experience to be able to allow other people into your vision and to create with you and let them add things that we would never have thought of. Mike and Wes are incredibly creative. We're super funny. So letting them bring their personality and their humor to the show helped Carly and I expand and grow, which I think is the whole point of a second season of a web series. Anyway, and we really learned in season 2 that teamwork is clutch. And I mean, I think that's a true life skill, and something that Clemson definitely instilled within me was that I was not cast in the first couple of years of my time at Clemson, and so I had 2 choices: was just to sort of be sad and not be involved, or gather up my classmates and say, hey, I wasn't cast, but I really want to do something. What can we all do? And that energy and that creative drive is what definitely carries me through certainly this time in quarantine when you're sort of separated from everything. But just being a New York actor is incredibly challenging, and you learn quickly that there are so many actors and not quite as many jobs as there are actors. And so you have to learn how to fill those gaps for yourself. And if you are able to find people who speak to your creative intentions and your creative sensibilities and create with them, that's a really incredible way to keep the fire going in between things. So now season 1 and season 2 are available. I, again, would recommend only watching season 2. And since we've had so much time on our hands in quarantine, Carly and I have sat down and rewritten the pilot to be a true 30-minute, half-hour pilot that we've been workshopping since April. We've been doing Zoom readings with some original cast members, some new cast members, and we're looking forward to pursuing the journey of pitching a show to network, which is, again, something we've never done, but everything we did was something that we'd never done before. And we're super excited about taking those next steps with it, particularly with all this time on our hands and having lived with these characters for so long. It's a really amazing journey to maybe take them to the next step. So yeah, it has been such a pleasure spending this time with you guys and getting to share my little piece of creativity, both before and in quarantine. I hope you stay tuned for more lunchtime listening series from the Brooks Center. We really appreciate your presence here, and we look forward to seeing you again.